Yeah, what's going on? What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is the first episode of Just Ask Juan, live and in person. You already know how it go. We just talking sports today. Basically just want to talk sports today. That's all I really want to talk about. You know what I'm saying? The sports that happened this past weekend, fights that happened this past weekend, the acknowledgement what happened this past weekend. Um, but we gonna be talking sports and stuff like that all day. Um, So first thing first, obviously, congratulations to the Cavaliers. They just advanced to the Eastern Conference Finals. I think the first time since Braun left. Um, Obviously, you know they are most likely heavy underdogs against you know dudes like the Knicks. I think the Knicks have been on a tear this year, on a crazy tear. These guys also have had countless of times, plenty of times I think to shut out certain teams. They just haven't. So I don't know. I think most likely they're gonna either lose or they're gonna have you know a difficulty trying to have a good game half the time. But we'll see. We'll see what's going on most likely. Um, for the most part, I think these guys is possibly going to be able to be the team to beat. Um, the Knicks probably going to be the ones going to be facing the Thunder in the finals, and obviously the Thunder are going to win that. I think the Spurs are probably like a year or two out before beating the Thunder team. I think that Thunder team is just really way too good. Um, Obviously, these guys just really are having a bad year already as it is. These guys are having a difficult year as if it is. These guys having a difficult year as it is. So it's hard already as it is for most guys. These guys are having a real difficult year this year. Are basically having to play, you know, everybody that you already kind of beat. These guys are possibly going to have a better year and probably an easier time winning the second championship. Let's talk MMA. Obviously, we just seen the Ronda Rousey Gina Carano. I think that was heavily some bullshit. To none to say the least, these guys really suck. They really suck promoting the fight. What's up, TD? How you doing, man? Uh, these guys suck promoting the fight, and then they put on basically some bullshit. I don't know how Netflix thought that was gonna be anything of a good idea, just having dudes fight. Well, not all having people fight, but having two older fighters fight each other. And Gina Carano and Ronda Rousey. I think Ronda's been out was out the off the octagon basically. I think almost 10 years plus. Same thing with Gina. I know the last time Gina fought, I was probably in middle school. That's how long Gina Carano was out the octagon. Um, Obviously, um, Matt Perry and Nate Diaz. They went on a crazy tear for a little bit. Them two guys. Um, they went on a crazy tear for a couple rounds there. They was fighting, and obviously Francis Ngannou got the knockout, which was crazy. Not much, man. I'm just chilling, man. I just got to work. I'm just gonna start doing these lives. You know how it go, man. I'm trying to maintain and provide for my family. You know how it go. Let's go with you. Um, but these guys are all having difficult times, I think, understanding, how to promote a fight, how to move certain things and certain patterns. Obviously, MVP's trying to get these people paid, but I think they're just doing it in the wrong way. And I think Netflix might not have them do it again with an MMA bout if it's not somebody of noteworthy. Um, but most of the guys are basically good fighters. But this is how it goes with these guys, uh, these older fighters. And obviously, I don't know who expected Gina Carano to put up even a decent fight with Ronda Rousey when she got dismantled the last time with Cyborg. Let's talk boxing. This is my main sport. I love talking boxing. Keyshawn Davis, man, put on a very good performance. I thought he was gonna stop Nahir Albright, but he just didn't. I don't think Nahir had a lot of willingness to to exchange with Keyshawn. I think after the fifth round, I think he started putting his hands in his pocket, especially when he hurt him with the right hand, and Keyshawn just kept stepping and kept moving forward. Keyshawn now is at a point where he can either fight Oscar Duarte for, I believe it's the WBC, 140-pound strap, or fight Devin Haney. I'm pretty sure Devin Haney said he would take a fight with him if he was successful in this last bout. Um, Obviously, I think Devin is gonna have a slight advantage in experience and in big caliber fights. He's been there before plenty of times now. Keyshawn is, so called, so forth, as a, not a prospect, but a very, shining star in the future of boxing. I think he is also. He just has to, fight, the outside of the ring stuff, stay in shape, stay in on a type of weight. But obviously, he's when he's there to perform, he's there to perform. I know some people were sitting there saying that, obviously he was mentally out of it this whole past fight week. I don't think he was mentally out of it. I think he was just bored because he knew he really didn't want to fight Albright. Um, Obviously, the first fight, as much as people are going to sit there and say, yo, Albright gave him a better fight the first fight, and you look at those scorecards and you look at the way the fight went. I had it maybe 8-2, maybe 9-1. I think it was. I just don't think Albright had enough even in that first fight, and then the second fight, this past fight just now. I don't think he put up such a great fight. I think I gave him maybe around, maybe I think it may be around. I don't even think I gave him around in that whole fight. I watched the whole fight from beginning to end. Obviously he showed out and showed forth that he is a very skilled fighter. Albright showed that he's a witty fighter. He definitely knows how to survive in there, knows how to keep himself in a interesting concept of, just staying in there and able to, to hang with some of the best. I don't think Albright in his best day probably beats Keyshawn ever on even his worst day. But we will see off that what Keyshawn's gonna do next. Obviously, everybody's talking about Brian Norman, how he came back, looked sharp. Obviously, we only got a little bit of a sample size. This guy, he fought Josh Wagner. Wasn't really good. Wasn't there to win. He was there to just have a payday and maybe take a dive. I don't want to say take a dive. I just want to say he was probably outgunning, outclassed. He kind of knew that off of maybe a minute or two off the first round. Um, not here, God bless. Um, Josh Wagner, he just C-level fighter. Now I don't want to say a C-level fighter because I think he lost to Harlem Eubank. Kind of, bad also. So I think he's probably a C-level fighter. This was a good comeback fight for Norman. He looked sharp. He looked like he was gonna work off his jab a lot more, use a lot more of the ring IQ that everybody was saying that he had off of those sparring sessions boots. He looked sharp. He looked super fast. And he looked super sharp. He looked like his punch selection has gotten a lot better also under Rodney Shields. I would love to see what's next with this guy. Jan Santana, he got a very victorious victory. I didn't get to see the fight. I know that a lot of people that I talked to said that he probably, he swept them most of the time. I think Jan is right there to either fight Shushu or fight somebody in around that weight class for the belt. Um, I think the fight that I want to see is him and Shushu. I think that him and Shushu fight would be a lot of fun because I know that Jan's really not scared of Shushu and Shushu's not scared of a damn thing, to tell you the truth. He has a lot of skill sets. I think he has a lot of skill sets and he's a lot better off his front foot that I gave him credit for. I think he's tremendously well. So whoever's training him, shout out to them. Obviously, let's talk the status of boxing right now. We have dudes in rumors and stuff like that of Zuffa signing possibly Shakur Stevenson. more rumors of it that he's probably heading that way. I think Shakur, if all well's and done, he probably does sign with them. I think obviously the relationship he has with Turkey is a big part of the reason why he's probably signing with Zufa. And they're probably going to give him a bag, to tell you the truth. They'll probably give him a real big bag. I want to say maybe, if they gave Connor Ben 15 million, they'll probably give him 25. Tell you the truth. I don't think that, Zufa is not going to be willing to give them that. I mean, obviously, it's going to be probably a multi-fight deal. I would say a two-fight deal, most likely, two to three fight deal, maybe most likely, and possibly try to get Devin Haney to sign with them also to have a 2-3 fight deal. And we'll see from there what happens from there. Obviously, there's a lot of fighters that are supposedly gonna go sign a Zufa. I think Zufa's not bad. I don't think Zufa's good. I think Zufa's gonna try to give us something different from what we've had in the last, I want to say, 30 something years. Obviously, good or bad, it's either gotta help boxing or it's gonna make boxing as it is already as it is. Um, Dudes that have a lot of experience in the sport tell me, yeah, it could be good or it could be bad. I know that Roy Jones just came out and said a whole thing about obviously the Zuffa boxing thing, how it's diminishing the history of boxing and the skill sets and stuff like that. I don't think it is. I just think the politics behind a lot of the belts, especially like the main, I want to say the main four belts, especially one organization in the WBC. I think a WBC just does a lot of things that gets in their way. I think obviously dudes holding belts for too long and being inactive, demanding more money than of what the I want to say the 10% of the purses, um, not holding their standards for every single fighter down the line. It's a lot of in the picky choosy things with the WBC. Obviously, the IBF, the WBO, and I believe the WBA, they're all kind of solid, organizations. But the same thing with them, they have a lot of pickiness and choosing, and they pick and choose. I think the IBF is probably the only one that doesn't really pick and choose. They mandate you to fight the mandatory, and if you don't fight the mandatory, they obviously strip you. Um, we don't know how the WBA is gonna be looking as soon as we have. Um, we just don't know. My boy Marky Dan, what's going on, brother Dre?
You, what is salutes, everybody that comes in, smash the like button. This is a good brother, a Dominican, a Puerto Rican from Massachusetts,
Both facts.
up here doing his thing, man. Salutes to Just Ask Juan, the number one up and coming boxing channel they got out there, man. How you doing, Juan?
I'm all right, brother. Yo, so we're talking boxing. What you thought about the performances this past weekend, man? Let me hear what you thought about it.
I thought they were a bunch of crap. I thought that they were a bunch of, and we could cuss on here, right? Correct?
Yeah. Do they don't go crazy
Yeah,
though.
I thought they were a bunch of bullshit. I thought it was a bunch of fudge packer. No, I'm just kidding. But I thought it was still a bunch of
Okay.
terrible. I thought wasn't the best card in the world. I mean, Brian Norman, and I'm not necessarily holding it against Brian Norman. I get it. He just got smashed in a 9-3 decision outclassing by Devin Haney where he got dropped and he had to fire his father, and they obviously bumped heads somewhat. At least it looked like publicly with what his father was saying about I can't be number two to nobody. So I get it that they give him a soft touch, but we were discussing it on B3 Picks show earlier. That guy did not throw a single punch. He did not throw a
Nah,
single punch in the round and a half of that fight. And
right.
then, I mean, the referee, one of the most like that's like that guy needs to be investigated. I'm dead serious. They need to check his bank accounts and they need to check his phone and his emails to see who he's communicating with. Because it is apparent to me that he had some bread on the over under, specifically on the over, and that he was probably communicating with somebody and telling them, "Hey, put that bread down on this, and we're gonna split it X, Y, and Z." That dude, the first knockdown for the Wagner boy, he did not make he didn't even make the count. I just watched it. He was still bending over and trying to get and trying. Well, he had his hands off the canvas and he was standing up, but he was hunched over. And the referee said 9. Then he stopped counting, and then Wagner stood up and straightened out. So that should have been a knockout right then and there. The man did not make the count.
Right.
Then after the second knockdown, craziest thing I've ever seen, the referee calls a timeout, and which you're not supposed to for an injury after a knockdown. Either you could continue fighting or you can't continue fighting, and the referee is supposed to make his decision right then and there if the fight is over or not. He brings him over to the corner for the doctor. The doctor doesn't even have his gloves on, and it's
Right.
taking forever to put his gloves. So I think the doctor also has some bread on the over under. Just my opinion.
Salute to D
I
Free,
mean
Angie
yeah.
Baby.
So salutes to Frilio and Angie Baby. Salutes to Frilio and Angie Baby and Chop Cheese Tom and Gregory, aka Leon, aka BVO. So I mean
Let's
that
talk
was
about Kareem.
just what
Let's talk about Kareem Akbar like that. Damn it. Leave my man alone.
it'll be alright. It'll be
No.
alright. But that's the
Um,
Asiatic man. But yeah, that was one of the most bizarre things I've ever seen. Then I didn't see the Pete Dobson fight, but from what I heard, Pete Dobson got jobbed. Cruz in the first fight, I didn't watch the entire fight, but again, from what I heard, Cruz got jobbed. And then the Keyshawn Davis fight, I mean, Keyshawn pretty much he won almost every round except for the fifth where he got caught with a big punch and he got buckled a little bit, and then the
right.
round where he got 2 points deducted. So
Right.
he technically dominated, but it was a boring fight. Like that was a terrible way to spend your Saturday evening if that's what you
I mean,
decided
I, I
to
mean,
go and watch.
the thing. I think the thing is to me is people expected it to be like the first fight where it was a little bit of a back and forth. I kind of said it on Tommy's live on Friday. I said it's either he's gonna stop him or he gonna whitewash him, and he whitewashed him. It wasn't really close, and even then the round that you gave him, he connected more. He started he's like after he got hit with the right hand on the bite, he just started hitting him with hard body shots and started walking him down. I think he eventually started hurting him too after the fifth round. It was just like I was like, man, there's levels to this, and Nahir on his best day wouldn't beat Keyshawn on his worst day. So it's just I don't know. I don't understand why Top Rank made him fight this again. It possibly could have been, hey, we need to
Nah,
recoup
you
some
know why
money.
they made him fight. You know, I
Yeah,
mean, Keyshawn,
they needed revenue.
Keyshawn, yeah. After Nair whooped Keyshawn's brother, like there's a storyline to that, for what Keyshawn did, and then Nair had a draw, even though I didn't think that was a draw. So we know why they made him fight.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's an obvious thing, but dudes are gonna make them fight each other. They're gonna have each other, they're gonna have each other's backs to make some money. Obviously, Keyshawn wanted to give him some money because you can tell Keyshawn really don't hate him. I just think the whole thing with his brother was, taken and blow up the proportion. Obviously, he probably was drinking that night also. So I'm not even gonna sit there and say, hey, Keyshawn on the wrong for it, but Top Rank definitely wrong from not getting him a bigger fight. They needed to get him a bigger fight, to tell you the truth. Because if you're gonna keep putting in the face saying that he's the next face of boxing, you definitely need to get him a bigger fight. You need to get him somebody. You need to feed him to somebody. It's one of the two. Either let him fight Devin, or throw him in there with homeboy with Duarte. My boy D
Absolutely,
Free.
absolutely, absolutely.
Salute to my boy D Free. What's going on, D?
What's good? What's good?
Shout out to
Yeah.
Frilio. Shout out to Frilio. I'm outnumbered. 2 Puerto Ricans to 1 Virgin Islander. I'm outnumbered.
Now the Herbert, I didn't even expect. I thought Allen was gonna outlast him. Urkovic just, I don't know. He surprised me out of nowhere. That was kind of surprising that he got him out of there that fast.
No, it's not. Who is Dave Allen?
I mean, hey, look, listen, man. Dave Allen, he blood and guts warrior the way you like him.
Dave Allen is
Um,
one of them dudes that they have at the pub, and he drank from sunup to sundown. And his wife
that's
always got to come out there with they 3 kids to get him to try and come home. That's who
that's
Dave
crazy.
Allen is. Nah, it ain't
That
crazy.
is
That's who the man is.
that is that is
He's
wicked
a
work. Yo,
jobber.
free,
That's what they call him over there, Juan. He's a jobber.
free. So what you thought about the fights this past weekend, man? Let me know your thoughts, man.
Um, I would say it was what I expected for the most part. I just thought that Naeem Albright was going to come to fight. He didn't look like he came to fight. He looked like he pretty much came to do what he did and pretty much just gave in to Keyshawn. You would have thought that Naeem was gonna do a little bit better than what he did the last time. And actually, the last fight was better than this fight. So, but far as Kelvin might want to find another hobby or another line of work. I mean, well, I did hear that he runs a construction company, so maybe that's where he devotes his time to.
Who?
Uh,
Who you talking about, Freak?
Kelvin,
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I said that. He need to go do the man camp stuff. He need to go
yeah,
work on an
from
oil
what
rig.
I hear he runs a construction company. So, because he's not that good at all. I don't got him um contending on the top level at no point in time in his career. He's not that good.
How did the younger brother do? I didn't watch the whole card.
Keon,
I watched the last two fights literally. I know I
Keon did
watched the
okay.
last fights.
Well,
He did all
Keon was
right.
on the prelims. Keon was on the prelims. He did what he was supposed to do. It was a
Okay,
decent fight. It was only a 6 round, but it was decent.
he got him out of there.
No, he didn't knock him out. Dude was a tough individual, and he actually put up some resistance. But
Okay,
Keon still he still got the better of the fight. But
all right,
dude didn't come to lay down.
right.
Um,
So
but
so so I wanted to ask you guys a question.
hmm
Uh, the Abdullah Mason
Ask
Joe
away.
Cordina fight. How do you guys see that going down? How do you have that
Uh,
prediction?
Joe Cordina, I don't think he got a chin no more. So I say Abdullah Mason in 6 rounds or less.
What you think, Free?
uh, now I think it might go the distance. If Aduna stops Joe Cordina, it's probably going to be late. Joe Cordina is a tough individual. He's a former champion. Uh, you got to remember the only reason why he lost his title is because he got knocked out, and that was late in the fight. He was winning that entire fight until he got knocked out. Um, so I think Joe Cordina is gonna he's gonna put up a resistance. I think it's gonna be a good fight for Adula Mason. I think Adula Mason wins, but I think Joe Cordina is definitely going to come to fight. And like I said, I think if Adula Mason gets him out, it's going to be late. It's not going to be early.
Right. I mean, I see it going 12. I think Joe's just he's reliable enough to be some type of resistance to Abdullah. I think people
I
forget
don't
Joe
think
had
so.
a. Now you gotta remember Joe's an Olympic level fighter. He's really good. I think did he hold a belt at 130 free? And then he held a belt.
Oh yeah, he had a
Was it?
title at 130.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean he's
Yeah, and
durable.
then
He's
in that
definitely durable.
Kasase fight, yeah, in that Kasase fight, and I remember that fight because it was in Saudi, and after the fight, Kasase said, "No more UK fights, only 30 fights. I only want 30 fights." I don't think
I mean,
Joe Cordina got that chin. I don't think he got that Rock of Gibraltar anymore because he used to get into some wars, and he got into a war with Kasase. Kasase was jacking his jaw, had his leg shaking multiple times throughout the fight until he finally put him down for the keeps. So I mean, I just don't think that if he and Joe Cordina has the ability to box. I've seen, and like Free said, he's a former Olympian, and I've seen him box before. So unless Joe Cordina, because after Joe Cordina had that knockout against that Japanese dude that beat Tevin Farmer, and then that Japanese dude popped. After Cordina had that knockout against that guy, he had like he started coming with this style of being a come forward, knockout type of fighter. If he could turn back the
Right.
clock and use that old mover style he used to have, that old counter puncher style, maybe he could go the distance and maybe he can make it a little bit more difficult for Abdullah. But if he reverts to those same habits that got him knocked out in the Kasase fight, I see this being, like I said, 6 rounds or less for Abdullah Mason. Cause I don't think
Right.
his chin will stand up to 135 punches.
I mean, you remember, his last fight, Joe Cordini got a stoppage. He looked real impressive in his last fight.
Right.
But that was
So,
a
so what?
what the Jazza Dickens fight. I didn't see the Jazza Dickens, but I think you're talking about the Lee Wood fight where he stopped Lee Wood. Lee Wood
No, it wasn't. It wasn't
had
Lee
been
Wood.
through a lot of wars though, Free.
It wasn't Lee Wood. It was his last fight. He just had a fight. Right before this fight, he had a fight. That's what got him this fight. That wasn't Lee Wood.
Yeah, that's the Jazza Dickens fight you talking about. Then I didn't see that.
Yeah,
He looked decent with Jazz. He looked like he wasn't really trying to go to war. He looked like he was trying to put stuff together and stuff. So it wasn't like he looked awful. He looked decent. Now again, is it gonna be close? I don't think that's gonna happen. But I think that he's gonna give Abdullah a lot of obstacles where he's gonna use a lot of the experience that he has to last. That's what you need to really start giving Abdullah is dudes that can last with him because you're not gonna run like through everybody. That's just not a thing. And even then, the last fight what he just had with Sam Noakes, he learned that lesson where it's like you're not gonna run through everybody. So you have to, keep working on that with him because if you're top ranked, man, at this point, Abdullah's looking more and more like the face of boxing if Keyshawn can't get himself mentally right.
Nah, Xander Zayas, if he could get through this fight with Boots Ennis, he'd have faced a top rank.
Joe Cordini
Listen,
just fought Gabriel Flores Jr.
yes, that's the fight because they fought on. Didn't they fight on Pro Box? I think it was the
That
Pro Box
was
card
no, that wasn't a pro box card. That was.
or
Hold on,
the
I'm about
top
to see
rank
it.
card. One of the
Yeah,
last top rank cards on Tubi, something like that.
no. That was an Eddie Hearn. Well, that was a Eddie Hearn fight.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, it
He
was
is
in
signed to Eddie Hearn,
California. It
right?
was in
He
California.
is. Yeah, he wasn't. He is signed to Eddie Hearn. I forget that. Yeah,
Yeah,
and I
that
don't
was
know, man. He's I don't know, man. He's just I don't know. We gonna see what Abdullah really is
that was the
upcoming fights
card
and stuff
that
like that. And I just know
Diego
that.
Pacheco was the main event. They was the co-mates of Diego
Oh
Pacheco.
yes, yeah, yep. Yeah, that he whitewashed Gabriel Flores. He wiped the
Actually,
floor with him, boy.
he had two fights at 35 before Mason because he had the fight that he lost. He got knocked out in the eighth round, and then he had Joet Gonzalez, and he beat Joet Gonzalez up, and then he had Flores, and now he's getting the
Right,
Dula Mason.
right. Yeah, now he has a lot of talent. Yeah, that dude has a lot. I don't know why P Marky be saying that. He sucked. He don't suck. He had a lot of tough obstacles, bro. That's all that is. You can't really say
I
he
didn't
sucked
say he
because
sucked.
his obstacles. No, you just said he sucked. Basically, what you was just saying. He's saying
No,
he
I
sucked.
said I don't
And he
think he
been
got the chin.
again. All right. So now let's say if he using his normal style, that moving and not try to get hit type throwing thing. You don't think he gonna last against Abdullah?
Uh, say that again.
I literally said that, Juan. I just said that. How you gonna misquote me
No,
like
no,
that? Golly.
no, no. That's what you just BVO. Nah. So you think if he uses his natural style, he gonna last 12 rounds?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
said
mean,
if he
again,
box and move, he might be able to make it difficult for Abdullah. and go the distance,
See,
but
the
it still
problem with
could.
Joko
It,
Lee, he's
So
tall, he's 5'9", but he got short arms. He only got 69-inch arm reach.
yeah,
And
he got
Dula
it
got a
fighting the
70,
inside.
yeah, Dula got a 74-inch arm reach, so he got short arms. So Dula would be able to reach him from the outside. But I think, like I said, that Flores fight, a lot of people thought that Gabriel Flores was going to win that fight, and Joe Cordina put on a
Niggas,
boxing display that fight.
right? I
He
think Gabriel's a
outboxed
little taller than him. Ain't Gabriel a little taller than him?
Dula.
No, no. Gabriel's a little tall. He's a tall 135, ain't he?
Uh, mm-mm, no.
Oh, not.
You see,
No, he ain't
that's
right.
the thing.
He's like,
Dula
yeah,
is
I don't
5'9" with a 74-inch arm reach. Joe Cordina is 5'9" with a 69-inch arm reach.
know. Yeah. I don't know. I like the card though completely. The card is cool, and I like that they're putting it on free
All these
TV
dudes,
basically.
these dudes 5'9" at 135 pounds. Because Gabriel
Yeah.
was 5'9".
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Gabriel's tall for the weight. I'm not saying. I think yeah,
Gabriel
Gabriel's
5'9" with a 69.5-inch arm reach.
yeah, Gabriel's a tall one. Yeah, line. Most of these 135ers, bro, they're really naturally probably like 140, 147. Their frame is small. Pause. It's crazy.
yeah, I still think. I still think Abdullah is gonna stop him. Respectfully.
Who's
He might
who
stop.
shoot?
I don't doubt that he'll stop him, but I just think it's going to be late. I don't think it's going to be early.
Yeah, I don't think he stops him though. I just really don't think he stops him. I think
I
he
mean,
probably whitewashes him, and then
I mean,
if this is
if you look
if
at Joe Cordero, he's only got one loss, and that was the knockout loss that he got.
yeah, I mean
That's the
again,
only loss he got in his
if
career.
if
The one
yeah, I mean
knockout.
again, this is if they if the game plan is what the game plan could be. You know what I'm saying? I think he'll probably last a couple rounds and probably he'll probably give him a good competitive couple rounds. But again, I think just the youth is gonna start showing in the later rounds, and then Abdullah's gonna start stepping the gas up a little bit more. He'll probably start, tagging him and stuff. But I think Cordina knows how to survive enough to, go to full 12. I don't think he's just gonna walk right through him.
Yeah. No, I don't think Abdullah is going to walk right through him. At least not early on, anyway. I think
Yeah,
it's going to
again, I
be
could see, like you said, I could see somebody getting, like I could see him getting stopped late, but at the same time too, it's hard because I know that dude knows how to survive.
yeah.
But let
Um,
me ask you this, Free, what you think about the card completely though? Like, how do you think about that card completely?
the who?
The whole Mason July 4th card. How do you think about it?
I'm looking at it right now. I just pulled it up. I think it's a good card. You got Shushu on there. You got Tiger Johnson on there. Uh, you got both of the other two Mason brothers.
Mason
Right
brothers.
Oh,
now,
they went pro,
uh,
right? They just went pro.
yeah, right now
Yeah, I mean
the
that's
younger Mason brother, they don't have a opponent announced for him yet. They're still looking for an opponent for him. Um, but the other one, he got a guy that's 1-0. He's 2-0, so that's a good matchup for him. Um,
right.
then you got this dude named Derek Davis. That's 11-0 fighting against Carlos Ramos. Um, trying to think who is this dude. Oh, I see. That's what's the place. That's Scooter Davis. I don't know.
Okay.
Scooter Davis is fighting against Carlos Ramos. So yeah,
Okay.
that's a good fight for Scooter Davis. 64-1. That's a good fight for Scooter Davis. So
Right. Right.
it's a decent card. It's a much better card as far as name recognition. It's a much better card than Keyshawn's card because really, to be honest, the only names on there was Keyshawn and Brian Norman. Everybody else are names of people that's diehard boxer fans. We know who those guys is, but to the casuals,
Right.
nobody know Albright is. Nobody know who Kelvin is. Nobody know who Pete Dobson is. If you're not a diehard boxer fan,
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Nah. If you ain't
truthfully,
hard,
nobody
you
know
ain't
who
dog.
Brian Newman. Brian Newman
Right. If
really is known for he got his name out there for being in the ring with Devin Haney. But truthfully speaking, he ain't really known like that.
right. I mean, people are gonna be people are casuals, man. You gotta kind of like keep their minds occupied if you're gonna put on a show. I know that Marky he going live at like 5:30. Marky, what's your show about tonight?
No, yeah, no, I got something to do in a little bit. So I'm gonna be going live this Wednesday. I will be going live tomorrow as well. I'm gonna be simulcasting with my girl Rose T on her channel. So check her out, Rose T Political Perspectives. We're gonna be talking about a lot. It's a lot of just really dirty and corrupt stuff going around. And I'm gonna be giving my Calci picks, what I think people should be looking out for so they can make some bread. I made some bread
Right, right.
I made some bread just this weekend betting on the Orange Guys Truth Social posts. Like it's a real wild world we living in, bro. You could bet
Yo,
what
you're
the
stupid as hell.
weather. No, I'm dead serious. What you could bet what the temperature is gonna be tomorrow in your city. You could
Yeah,
bet.
Word?
I saw that.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
could bet if the Orange Guy is gonna say somebody's name in a week in a week
yeah.
period. It is
Did you bet
insane.
that on Prize Picks or that was on something else?
No, that's on Kalshi
That's
and
on Kalshi, I
Poly
think.
Market.
Right,
Oh,
Yeah,
they
right,
got
that's
right.
on
that
Yeah,
the
I
on
heard
Prize.
Polly
prediction
Market.
markets.
Yeah, they got that on
It's
Prize
like
Picks too.
free. It's like sports betting, but for real life, like for everything.
No, I know they got it on Prize Picks. Prize Picks, you can bet on what the temperature is going to be in different states and things like that. You can bet on. There's a bunch of different stuff. It's called culture. Called culture.
Right.
Culture. A culture bet. So you can
Okay.
bet on different current events that could possibly happen.
There's some wild times we living in, but I'm gonna make as
Yeah,
much bread as I can off of it, respectfully.
that's a
I
fact.
made some
Free,
money.
when's it?
I made some money with B3 betting on the inflation report last week.
That's crazy. See, why
Yeah,
didn't you text me? I would have put some money down with you.
I mean, I put it in the group. Well, I was testing the water because that was my first week doing it. But yeah, I put my link out there in the chat, and I'm gonna be giving my picks, like I said, on Thursday. I got a couple. I'm doing the Truth Social post every weekend because I think that's a guaranteed money maker.
Right, right. All right. Free, when's the next time you going live and whatnot so people know when you going
I
live?
probably I'm probably going live Thursday. Talk about the NFL. We got some training camps about to start up, and I think I'm gonna break down some of these draft picks. Um, talk about that, and then I might go live for one of the games this weekend because we got the Eastern Conference Finals and the Western Conference Finals happening. I believe the Western Conference Finals starts up either tonight or tomorrow night.
It's tonight. It's tonight. It's definitely
Shout out to
tonight
the
because I know that. Yeah, it's tonight because my man's just sent me a whole parlay.
shout out to the Cavs, man. I want some bread on the Cavs. Shout out to the Cavs. They put belt to
Yo,
booty. That was crazy.
the Cavs might. I ain't gonna lie to you, might fuck around
Oh yeah,
and
the
get to the
Western Conference
finals.
Finals.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Western
Yeah, they
Conference
got a
Finals.
real squad. Like Jared Allen, that's they post guy. He could cut, make screens. He a rim protector. Evan Mobley, he could guard from 1 to 5, and he
Hey,
athletic, get to the rim,
I
shoot.
said I said that yesterday when we were talking about the game over on Pop Smoke and Southern Chief, and they was asking me what I think about the game. I said that the key to the game is we need Allen and we need Mobley to step up because in Game 6 they didn't. They were pretty much non-existent in Game 6, and I said they need to step up, and that's exactly what happened. Those guys
Yeah,
stepped up in
Jared
a big
Allen and
way.
Mobley, outside of Donovan Mitchell, they were the two best players on the court. But I question if they could go up against teams with depth like the Spurs and the Thunder because I think they said they had 80 points total just from their starters. And
No,
James Harden didn't even, I think he didn't even score 10 points in that game. So I
neither
don't even know if they
one,
could win
Well,
the
last
chip.
night.
neither
Yeah,
one of
last
these
night.
teams. It doesn't matter who make it out of the East. Neither one of these teams can beat the Spurs or the Thunder.
Nah.
But
Yeah.
if you paid attention in the West Coast on the Western Conference Finals, you got the one versus the two. In the Eastern Conference Finals, you got the three versus the four.
It's gonna be an epic series. It's gonna be an
Yeah,
epic series. I can't wait for it.
I think I think somebody was saying that the 1 and 2 in the West hasn't happened in a couple of years. That it really hasn't even happened in a couple of years. So that's exciting enough. Because
Yeah,
I
you
know
probably had to go back to the Rockets and the Warriors or the Thunder and the Spurs for the last time we had a situation like this. Or excuse me, no, the
it's
Thunder and the Warriors is what I meant.
yeah. I think the most likely thing I think that happens is the Knicks beat them because I think the Knicks found their offense. I don't know how they found their offense this late in the year, but they found their offense. They're using Cat more as a facilitator, as a passer than a scorer. Obviously, he talking about he wants to be but pick and roll and high block, shooting catch and shoot and stuff like that. It works for them. So I definitely think that
Nah,
the Knicks probably
nah.
beat them in six. Yeah, I don't
I
know, but I
think
tell you because even if you be like, size difference, it'd be like, you be like the size difference. The size difference really don't. It's
no,
not that big.
they got
Like
the team to do
the
it,
probably
Juan.
the
But my thing is, I think the governor of New York State and even the president's administration, I think they probably put a call into the officials, and they let them know you can't let them win this series. Them folks, they will burn down New York City. They'll continue their reign of terror down the East Coast. Probably even make a run on the Capitol. I don't want to see that type of carnage and chaos and death and misery because the Knicks think they could win an NBA championship. That's not even them winning the championship. Just them going to the series will be enough for the to trigger that type of cataclysmic event. And I'm not trying to
that's a
see it.
fact. No, that's a fact. But that's all I have for you guys today. I wasn't really gonna do a long live tonight. It's my first live. I'm gonna try to be on Tuesdays and Thursdays most of the time. In between, Marky's show and B3 show. Um, Salute to everybody from the STN. Salute to Angie Baby for always giving a like. Salute to everybody that basically watched this live. Guys, please follow Marky Dan. Follow everybody from the Mighty Sports Talk Network. Marky, you got
Absolutely.
anything to peace out
Absolutely.
with?
Nah, most deaf. Shout out to Green Banana One, one of the
I
best
hate
green
you so
banana
much.
boilers in the business.
I hate
One,
his ass.
one of the
I
best
hate your
one
ass.
of the best guys in the building in the business in general, man. It's a decent brother right here trying to grow his channel. We're gonna push him. We're gonna continue to support him. We can continue to share his links and smash the like buttons anytime this guy goes live or he drops content. Cause this is a good brother. This is a brother that's taking care of his family. He's doing everything right. He's not showing his ass up here on YouTube. He's doing his thing, and he just wants to talk some good boxing and some good sports. So you got to support people like this, man. This is a good brother, as I said already. So shout out to the whole chat that's currently here. Please smash the like button once again. If you ain't subbed already, get that done. And we out.
Yes, sir. Peace.